After several days on the lam, police and animal control officers in Westfield finally caught up with a woolly fugitive.
After days of going on a rampage, a runaway sheep was finally taken back to a pasture. Officials say they've been trying to catch this sheep for days, but it kept evading capture. But after a united effort, officers were able to bring the sheer madness to an end. Both the sheep and officers were uninjured, though animal control says there were a few bruised egos after the sheep managed to outrun 3 of the 4 people chasing it. The sheep is now back home with its flock.